Hi there, welcome back to What the Flick. I am Christy, and that is Alonso, and that is Matt. We're all still here. We were talking a little bit ago about the World Cup, which is going on, happens every 4 years, and I will totally admit that I'm in no way a soccer expert. If you want actual knowledgeable soccer coverage, check out our friend Francis Maxwell on TYT Sports, because he actually knows what he's talking about. He does it in his fantastic
Because
Scottish
he was
accent.
a professional football player.
Was he actually?
He was, yeah. He
For
played
who?
How did I never know this?
Scotland, I don't know,
We'll
somewhere
find out.
in Europe.
I need
But
answers.
I know he played
Anyway, we'll
for
find
reals.
out.
I don't know who plays that
We
game.
are journalists here. We bring you information that has been checked. So, but there are a lot of soccer movies. We can talk about soccer movies with some vague amount of knowledge and or football. So what is your pick for your favorite soccer movie then?
So one of my favorites of all time, it's not really a favorite, but it's one of the first ones I watched. I almost brought up Victory, which is this terrible old Michael Caine movie, and Sylvester Stallone and Pele and their POWs in World War II, and they plot this escape plan based on them playing the Nazi soccer team, but that's a terrible movie. So what I've really gone with is a movie called Shaolin Soccer, which is written and directed by Stephen Chow, 2001 movie. I had seen Kung Fu Hustle in 2005 and immediately wanted to see anything Stephen Chow had done. This was the movie he did before then. It's 2001. He plays a man named Mighty Steel Leg Singh, who is a Shaolin fighter. He gets his 5 brothers together, or his 4 other brothers after their master has died, and they start a soccer team to kind of bring Shaolin Kung Fu to the masses. It is as insane as you'd expect from Stephen Chow. You can see all this great kind of Matrix style bullet time photography and all these effects, and imagine the most insane wuxia version of how monks would play soccer from a kung fu movie, and that's exactly what you get in this movie, coupled with what you see from Stephen Chow, which is kind of this over-the-top, silly sensibility that you see in plenty of his other movies that you really haven't seen that consistently from anyone out of Hong Kong since the heyday of Jackie Chan. And Chow has really kind of embraced that silliness. So this is not a heavy movie, it's really dopey and really fun, but I love it and it's worth checking out.
Cool. Yeah, there are a lot. My pick is The Damned United from Tom Hooper. Before he did The King's Speech, before he did Les Miserables, before he did The Danish Girl, he did this really gritty little soccer movie, and I loved it. Michael Sheen, who is so great in everything, so great at bringing complexity to these real life figures, plays, of course, I cannot remember his name now that I'm on the spot. What's his name?
If only there were a device in front of you that had all of the information.
Brian Clough, I knew it was something Clough. He's famous to people in England. He coached the Leeds United soccer team for all of 44 days. And he brought this really rigid style to a team that was kind of messy and kind of dirty. And he is arrogant and he is inflexible and everybody hates him. But he's charismatic and fascinating to watch. So prior to this, Michael Sheen had played David Frost in Frost Nixon, and he had played Tony Blair in The Queen. All these films are all written by Peter. Oh my God, why can't I think? Peter Morgan, my brain is a sieve. I quizzed myself prior to this. Anyway, great screenwriter, and so that combination of like finding the complexity in these really flawed and fascinating figures. This works again here really, really well. It's a great supporting cast, including Cole Meany and Timothy Spall and Jim Broadbent. And it's dirty. Like you can feel the grime and the dirt, and it has a fantastic array of bad 70s like leisure suits and turtlenecks. It's about how Brian Clough tried to enforce his style on this team and how that just did not work. I'm gonna double dip and get greedy. I'm also gonna pick Bend It Like Beckham.
Well, sure.
Which is great and is a blast and is the movie that made Keira Knightley a star. This is just a lot of fun, and it's a bit of a familiar formula. It's about a young Indian woman who her parents just want her to get married and settle down.
I believe she's Pakistani in this, isn't she?
I don't know.
Because that's one of the things they keep calling her.
I'm sorry.
Right, yeah,
Thank you.
I believe she's Pakistani.
Thank you. Anyway, but she wants more. She wants to be a soccer player, and specifically, she wants to play like David Beckham. And so it's how she plays, and she and Keira Knightley become great friends, and it's how sort of against the odds, they, struggle and get better and learn to chase their dreams and pursue this sport that they love. And it's a lot of fun. Gurinder Chadha directed it, and it's just heartwarming and feel good, but it's got some realism to it as far as the human family drama, and it's lovely.
It's also hilarious.
It's very, very
I remember
funny.
seeing that at a screening room at Fox, not knowing what I was getting into, and was almost in tears of laughter.
Yes, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers is in it, playing not necessarily a terribly awful guy. All right, so that's mine. Those are my two. What are yours?
Mine is also British. The original Fever Pitch, not the one with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore, but the original one from the novel by Nick Hornby, and he did the adaptation himself, which is not usually a thing he does for the movies. Colin Firth plays a guy who is devotedly attached to Arsenal, even when Arsenal isn't so great, and his obsession with being a football fan kind of gets in the way of his relationships, and you kind of come to figure out what it's about for this guy and where it all comes from, and how he figures out how to sort of balance his love for football with everything else in his life. I have never been a sports person. Surprise, I know, shocking. This movie has gotten me closer to understanding sports people than almost any other movie I've ever seen, in terms of what it means to him and how it started in his life and how it's just been a thing since childhood. How it colored his relationship with his father, how it gave him an identity growing up, all this stuff to it. It was like, oh, okay, yeah. I get this. And Colin Firth is great. This is a fairly early, I mean not early, but it's 1997, so he hadn't completely conquered the US yet. And the terrific supporting cast. I believe Mark Strong is in there. And yeah, it's funny. And I've never even seen the remake. I don't want to see the remake.
I've seen it.
But I love Fever Pitch. Be on the lookout though, because there is a DVD release of this movie in this country that is the worst DVD cover I've ever seen in my life.
I know.
It's like they didn't know how to sell this thing, so it's a picture of like a topless woman covering her breasts with a pair of soccer cleats.
Wow.
And it's like
basketball.
Yes, which has nothing to do with the movie at all. It's just like it was a desperation.
The fun thing about the original Fever Pitch is you get this rare opportunity to see Colin Firth as a schlub.
That too.
Messy hair.
Yeah.
Not in control at all times. Yeah, I think the thing with soccer movies though, again, like not that we're all that knowledgeable about soccer, but there's a universality to them that makes them accessible. And like both your pick and my pick don't actually have a lot of soccer in them.
No,
like the Damn
not
United does not really have, it's not really a sports movie. I mean, it's based on what happened with a sports
the front
team,
office.
but it's really about people. It's about egos, and it's about conflict, interpersonal conflict, and identity, and putting your stamp on things. So I think that's why those work so well for a wide audience. Yeah.
I'm frankly disappointed none of us picked Ladybugs.
I was just about to mention Ladybugs, which I have not seen, but Nathan Rabin just did a reviewing and said that it is so incredibly inappropriate you can't even believe it.
Yes, there's a ton, like Kicking and Screaming. There's a Will Ferrell movie where he's he's like a
and then
kid.
there's Mean Machine, which is the really bad.
Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, it's Vinnie Jones in the Longest Yard remake that they did, based, which Vinnie Jones, who was a professional player.
She's the Man, right?
She's the Man is one, yes. I'm looking. Also, Hooligans, which when it came out, it was called Green Street Hooligans.
Oh, right.
With Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood, yeah,
I think trying to be post Lord of the Rings Elijah Wood, and anyway. So lots of good movies out there. Let us know what your favorite soccer movies are, and we'll be back with you in a little bit with more movie news.